If you're sitting on an unfiled return right now because you can't pay what you owe, you're about to make a $850 mistake. And it gets worse every single month you wait. Here's what's on the table this filing season. For personal T1 returns, the CRA charges 5% of your balance owing the moment you file late, plus 1% for every full month you're late, up to 12 months according to CRA's 2026 guidance for the 2025 tax year. This is automatic. It kicks in the instant there's unpaid tax at the deadline, and nobody has to decide to apply it. This is the part that catches people out. The penalty is triggered by filing late, not by paying late, so if you file on time and can't pay in full, you only owe interest, usually hundreds of dollars cheaper. But if you wait to file until you can pay, you stack the 5% plus 1% penalty on top of the interest. The system quietly rewards on-time filers and hammers those who hide. Let's put real numbers on it. On $1,000 owed and 6 months late, the penalty is $110 according to CRA. On $5,000 a full year late, it's $850. And on $10,000 a year late, it's $1,700 in penalties alone. And remember, daily compounding interest sits on top of every one of those figures. Here's the sharpest number in this whole thing. If the CRA charged you a late filing penalty in any of the previous 3 tax years and issued a demand to file, the penalty doubles to 10% upfront plus 2% per month for up to 20 months, according to CRA. That's a maximum of 50% of your balance owing, half your tax bill, in penalties. Now the buried detail. On top of any penalty, unpaid tax accrues daily compound interest starting the day after the deadline, and the CRA sets that prescribed rate quarterly according to CRA. Tax practitioners have cited rates around 7% annually in recent years, roughly 0.02% a day on a growing balance. The penalties raise the principal that interest feeds on, so the longer you wait, the faster it snowballs. So here's what to do, and this is general information, not personal advice. Check your own circumstances. First, file your T1 by the deadline even if you can't pay, using NetFile certified software, so you dodge the penalty stack entirely. Second, if you owe, set up a payment arrangement in CRA My Account and pay over time. You'll owe interest but no late filing penalty. Third, if illness or hardship caused the delay, you may qualify for relief using Form RC4288 or the Voluntary Disclosures Program. The deadline is the whole game here. Filing by April 30th or June 15th if you're self-employed, with payment still due April 30th, turns a 17 to 50% penalty into interest only, according to CRA rules. That single act of filing on time is usually hundreds of dollars cheaper than waiting, even if you can't pay a cent. Before I get to the last part, which is the most counterintuitive piece of this, the CRA resets its prescribed interest rate every quarter, so it can keep climbing. But here's the real cost. A repeat late filer who sends $1,200 to the CRA 3 times over a career doesn't just lose the cash. Invested at 5% to retirement, that's roughly $15,000 of future wealth gone. If this is useful, subscribe. The next breakdown is already coming. So the takeaway is simple. Filing on time, even broke, is almost always the cheapest move you can make with the CRA. Next, I'm breaking down the CRA's taxpayer relief rules. Exactly who qualifies to get penalties and interest cancelled, and how to apply before they come knocking. If you want to catch that, subscribe so you don't miss it.